A soft, soggy blanket of sleet covers the ground. It's 33 degrees, overcast, and nearly half of the town's overhead Christmas lights are working. This is Coma News. I'm Don Johnson-Michaels, Editor-in-Chief of Coma News Daily, and you're listening to the official worldwide internet podcast news source portal for the town of Coma. Today's very special holiday broadcast is brought to you by Liquid Ham.
Liquid ham tastes great.
One Coma leader is urging people this Christmas season to move to Coma and write home for the holidays. Mayor Dave Anderson hopes he's found the golden ticket to turn around population decline in Coma that has resulted from a nationwide move from rural areas. Anderson has proposed a partnership with Amtrak, America's leading railroad supplier, to get more riders to move to rural areas like Coma. Robert Frost didn't write about walking down the pavement in Brooklyn, New York on a snowy evening, Anderson said. He was walking in the empty, cold as crap woods on a snowy evening. Anderson is convinced that if more people wrote about rural America, then more people would move to rural America. The initiative raised skepticism among other people, including Councilwoman Natalie Peters, who is from Brooklyn, New York. It is totally feasible that Frost would walk down a Brooklyn sidewalk, see a tree, and eat a bagel, Peters said. Not a day goes by that I don't wish I was still living in the land of eternal happiness, that is, New York. So let's just move on. The proposal dovetailed with Amtrak's Writers' Residency program, which pays writers to use its trains, write about train travel, and interact with conductors who may or may not be high on crack. Anderson's proposal would designate the first stop as Coma, regardless of the writer's train's point of origin. Not sure why we need more writers here in Coma, said Councilman Axl Rose. They're not known for their hygiene or ability to survive the elements. So sorry, but in this economy it just seems like a luxury we can't afford. Next up are some questions from our listeners. Have you felt a desire to get involved and publicly celebrate the holiday season? Do you love Christmas? Are you a druid? If you answered yes to any of those questions, then you may want to audition for the Coma Players' annual Passion of the Winter Solstice Christmas Spectacular Hanukkah Play this Saturday at the Coma Public Library. Bringing all of these important holidays together as a way to let people dress as Persians who bring gifts and celebrate stuff is really important, said Shane Darvish, director of the Coma Players, and hopefully this year little Jimmy Cracker won't set any goats on fire while lighting the menorah. Let's burn one thing at a time, people. There were multiple injuries at last year's Passion play as many cultures and seasonal greeting celebrations collided on one stage. The donkey got mad at the pagan winter rite tree, while the empty atheist gift box tussled with the turtle doves from the 12 days of Navidad. The town-funded event has evolved from a Christmas pageant to a celebration of cultural diversity, mainly by renaming the principal characters with Spanish versions of their names, according to a leading booster and Mexican-American Bob Smith. His youngest son, Francisco, an infant, will play the lead character, Jesus, pronounced Jesus, while his 5 older children will fill supporting roles. The event's past troubles have drawn some criticism. We need less cultures colliding, especially in public, Town Councilwoman Natalie Peters said. Peters also noted that the town only recently completed its cleanup from the Coma Players' last production of Our Town. Instead of talking about all the things that tear us apart during this season, let's talk about what we have in common, such as Amazon Prime and the Acura Season of Reason, said Peters. Speaking of questions, how many people can you feed with a hug? One man in Coma is trying to find out. Town Councilman Axl Rose has pledged to donate to the Coma Food Pantry every time one stranger hugs another, and it is captured on film, tape, or sketchpad during this Christmas season. The donations, which will include a range of squeezed juices, applesauce, and pumpkin-flavored mashed potatoes, are part of the newly elected councilman's effort to show his appreciation for Coma. As much as I want to, I may not be able to hug every woman or other resident of this town by Christmas, Owen said, but hopefully they'll think of me every time they're caught up in some stranger's big ol' bear hug. The owner of a used car dealership, Owen's claim to fame before winning public office earlier this month, was as the founder of the women-only Hug Club. Another town council member to launch an initiative tied to the holidays is Natalie Peters, who is raising awareness of the flu and other communicable diseases through her Hot Zone for Health initiative. Maintaining a 2-foot distance from others at all time can cut your risk of contracting explosive diarrhea by 27%, Peters said. That's hard-won experience talking. When retired widower Stan Bargmeyer and Coma News intern asked if he could be featured this week, I said no. But then I remembered, it's almost Christmas, so here's his story.
I'm Stan Bargmeyer. I think popular national recording artist and former Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose is part of a roving group of Christmas carolers that have been strolling through my neighborhood this week, but I'm not 100% certain it's him. The guy singing carols in my neighborhood has gray hair and a big, bushy beard. I don't think Axl Rose has gray hair, but it's been a while since I saw a recent photograph, so you never know if he changed hair color or if he dyed it gray, which seems popular these days. Also, the guy singing carols in my neighborhood is probably in his mid-70s. Unfortunately, I have no way of knowing how old Axl Rose is. He could be in his mid-70s. One night last week, they sang "Come All Ye Faithful" at my door, and as they were walking away, I yelled, "Axl!" as loud as I could. The guy with the gray beard turned around and looked at me for a second. That makes me think it could be him, because I don't know why he would look back if his name wasn't Axl. I guess there is no way to really know if Axl Rose is singing Christmas carols in my neighborhood. Oh well, Merry Christmas anyway.
And now for your weekly listing. Free cycling is when a person passes on, for free, an unwanted item to another person who needs that item. From silverware to mobile homes, people worldwide are choosing to free cycle rather than discard. Offer, sobriety shirts, 6 or 7 t-shirts and 1 sweatshirt, all in great shape, sobriety-themed AA, NA, most or maybe all size XL. Behind Bear's Biker Bar. I don't want to give you an email, would rather stay anonymous. They're out back behind Bear's Biker Bar in a box labeled Coors Light Liquid Nitrogen. Taken, Quickcrete Cleaner, Neat's Foot Oil for toenail fungus. These were taken. Please return the garden shoes and the mailbox. I was not giving those away. I need the mailbox immediately for mail purposes. Offer, Fishbowl and Bottom Rocks, Coma Lake, back parking lot. This is a real fishbowl and bottom rocks. I can't take a photo, but we'll show you when you get here. Get out of your car and walk behind the trees, and the fishbowl will be right there. This is a great fishbowl. It's free. Come alone. If you want this fishbowl, it will be at the lake between 6 to 7 p.m. today. First come, first served. If you love good service, check out our sponsor, Jack's Used Cars.
Jack's used cars! If I can't make you a deal, I'll give you free beef jerky and stuff. I can't wait to get my new car. Jack's used cars!
If you're still looking for holiday gift ideas, Dr. Jimmy has you covered.
And now for the medical mosh with Dr. Jimmy, town physician and former raver. There was once a time when a guy could stand outside of a girl's bedroom window with a boombox over his head, and that was enough. That was enough of a gift primarily because you were in high school or were just single. Regardless of whether you're a single guy under the false impression that you're in danger of losing your girlfriend over the wrong gift, or a married guy with real problems, here's some physician insight on ways to avoid the pain of a disappointed woman this Christmas season. First, ask her what she wants. then do the opposite plus 4. This may sound complicated to your average non-physician layperson, so let me give an example. If she says she wants maybe some small jewelry, you'd better buy some expensive baubles, plus 4 other types of presents. Second, quantity is not quality. If you know she wants underwear, don't blow your wad on 10 bra and panty sets. This may sound obvious, but many a non-clinician who has solved the riddle of sometimes confusing intimate sizing has proceeded to then throw all of his Yule eggs in that basket. That can produce a range of serious and persistent adverse reactions. Third, do not forget the freaking stocking. In my clinical opinion, you can drop $1,000 on a range of presents, but if you leave that stocking empty, it will be all she remembers 9 months later. Fourth, prepare for the worst with some resilience-building meditation and UV light exposure. You're a guy, so the literature shows a fairly consistent 95% likelihood that you will be disappointment this year. Fifth, have a backup plan. As soon as the torn wrapping paper has finished falling like the first winter snow, start dropping hints about a vague, surprise vacation you're planning for sometime next year. Clinically speaking, discussing an idealized future vacation is nearly 1,000 times more stress-reducing than any actual family vacation. My clinical wish is that these simple steps will help you have a safe and happy Christmas season. In good health.
And now a word from another sponsor, A Home for Those Guys, which offers assisted living services to recently divorced men.
Time was, a man could be a man, set his own schedule, and seize his own destiny. Hey guys, if you're ready to be a man again without all the lame stuff, check out a place for those guys. Why should I live there? Because we offer affordable accommodations and wraparound services for all the recently divorced men. Services like house cleaning, we got you. Cooking, we got you. Alcohol, cigarette, and nitrous delivery, we got you. Therapeutic Swedish and Korean massage, we got you. Gray market stuff, look, guys, if you need it, we got it, or we'll go out and get it. Bottom line, find the life you've always dreamed about before all the other stuff got in the way, right here in a place for those guys.
To celebrate the season, Coma News commissioned the following holiday poem from Coma futurist Micah Horncraft.
Holiday Poetry by Micah Horncraft. And it came to pass in the tiny house of Horncraft that Christmas was coming to his woodlife raft. Droves of relatives would come, as would presents and food, to fill every cranny with a sharp-elbowed brood. There was no room for decoration, a sprig was the tree, but that is okay because Christmas love is for free. Horncraft, whose wife now stays in a tent, remains ever hopeful that soon she'll relent. Relatives this year will stay in the barn, built by his teenage son with found wood and some yarn. When they first moved into this house of constriction, teenage Sean responded with explosive anger and friction. But survival instincts engaged and life skills did they grow, for a teenager's hangout would help family harmony show. Some help was provided to bring the new barn to life, through an army of contractors hired by Horncraft's wife. The barn has new plumbing, some heat and surround. Last week a 60-inch TV was found. Now relatives can see a tiny Christmas no chore, as now the Horncraft family has room for so many more.
Those who cannot remember the past will be jailed. It's time to look back at Coma history. Often overshadowed by his older and widely praised brother, Davy, Randy Crockett enjoyed a successful career as both a frontiersman and the nation's first wilderness dentist. Most oral historians agree his impact on the veterinary dentistry field was substantial. Frontiersman, dentist, and orthodontist, Randy Crockett lived in Coma from 1827 through 1835. The younger Crockett, who settled in Coma in 1827, built a successful animal dentistry practice and is credited with using his axe to remove plaque and tartar buildup. Although this technique fell out of favor due to high patient mortality rates, was viewed by many as a pioneer in pushing the science of veterinary dentistry forward. Crockett, who struggled to earn money from his dental practice, as most clients were not in a position to afford care, left Coma in 1835 and went on to open a first-of-its-kind drive-through restaurant which offered salt pork, a variety of root vegetables, and maple syrup, brought to you while you waited in your Conestoga wagon. The following is an excerpt from a local blogger published as a community service for Coma News.
What the Hope Happened, an LOL Girl Mystery by Mary Bell Davis, awesome blogger of awesome things and private detective. Daddy Warbucks, how's the application for your graduate degree in psychology coming, Mary Bell? Me, not now, Daddy. I have to figure out what happened to Hope. Hope Donovan graduated high school and college at the same time I did. Last night I met her at Bear's Biker Bar to see if she was the right assistant to help me in my new private detective business. But she's changed. So, Hope was supposed to get married to Tim Kornheiser, but that fell apart when he found some other better-looking chick, and now she doesn't believe in marriage anymore. Her mom and dad are getting divorced after 32 years together, and now she doesn't believe in family. Her thighs are getting fatter, so now she doesn't believe in dieting. The town council's just passed an ordinance that outlaws the use of rollerblades because they have blades in the name, and that makes them dangerous, and now Hope doesn't believe in government. The bar was packed, and people were yelling, and two drunk guys were arguing over whether or not Metallica defined metal, and I couldn't remember even if ever hearing of a metal named Metallica. Hope kept going on about how she's fed up with this world and how stupid it is and how nothing gets better and that there's no love, and a drunk biker with a beard stumbles over to the bar and picks up a guitar and starts strumming Silent Night, probably because they just hung up the Christmas lights outside and everything gets quiet. And some people start humming along, and Bear, the bar owner, he's German, and he sings loud and in his language, Silent Nacht or something, which makes the whole thing sound better. And Hope stands and screams, "You're all a bunch of idiots. It doesn't matter how loud you sing because it means nothing, just nothing. Those two fat guys will go back to fighting because they can. Our government in town will ban singing because someone's vocal cords got hurt, and no one will ever find love because it's easy to fall in but not stay." And she slammed her glass down on the dusty floor and ran out of the bar. And I just started laughing because Hope is really dramatic. The song sounded nice when everyone sang together, and sometimes we just have to have a moment to sing because that's all we can do, just sing poorly. I can't explain what happened to Hope when I found her outside by my car. I got her to listen to me sing a bunch of carols while she cried on my shoulder and threw up in the parking lot. For my next mystery as a private dick, gross, I plan to solve what a bow is and what it did to get decked. Until then, it's a silent night because Hope is passed out in the backseat of my car, and inside that dirty bar, they're all still loud and drunk and they're singing carols together.
Well, that about wraps it up for this holiday episode. But before we go, the winner of the Town of Coma Christmas wish list is everyone. Until next time, Coma, be good, beware, be newsworthy.